guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like my videos, please subscribe and press the like button. Thank you very much for your support. Alexa, what's the time, please?
The time is 3:40 p.m.
Right guys, I'm a middle-aged woman. I'm going through the menopause, well, I'm leading up to it, and I'm like most women going through the menopause. You feel shitty, you feel bad about yourself, you have mood swings, etc, etc, and you realise that you're not a young woman anymore. So my mum Jennifer rang me, her daughter Crystal, this morning. I answered the phone just after 8 a.m, just before I was doing videos, and she said, would you like to come up today being a Monday? And I thought, well, Sunday was as boring as hell. I was all day by myself, mopping, cleaning, sweeping up, washing clothes, etc. So I thought I'd jump at the chance of a bit of company. She's my mum, and I thought I was going to have a chat, right? So a red Vauxhall taxi parks outside where I live in Rochester, the flats, and there's a dark-haired driver, very similar to the guy upstairs, a rough, rugged-looking face, short and stout, and he didn't speak to me. So I turned round and said, is this taxi for me? Because he was just sat at the taxi with it just revving. And when I opened the door, he didn't even look at me. So I went, is this taxi for me? He went, Durrell Gardens? I said, yes. Got in the taxi. He didn't speak of one word. I'd never had this driver before. Polite enough though, nice guy. He drove me up to Durrell Gardens, and he said, is it at the top? I said, yes. And my mum came out, and she was dressed in a white cardigan. She's got grey hair like me, but she's going bald. And she had jeans on with them turned up and her old shoes. And she came out, she paid the driver, and the driver said to my mum, who's nearly 80, thank you, darling. So the driver said to my mum, thank you, darling, which flattered my mum Jennifer, who's nearly 80. So my mum told me to wait before I went in. So I waited for my mum to come back from the taxi. We went in together, and the curtains were drawn. The black curtains near the French windows were drawn over. So it was all dark in there and depressing. There was no food on the table, no drinks, nothing was prepared. My mum said that she'd been feeling faint and dizzy. She had. So it was getting near 11, it was past 11 o'clock, and the curtains were drawn, and my mum was just sat there. So I tried to talk to and have a conversation with my mum, but she just wasn't very happy. She wasn't happy at all. She was sat there. And I felt sorry for my mum, but I thought the best thing to do was not stay very long, because she looked very, very tired. She looked like she needed a rest. She said she'd been sleeping on the sofa. So I thought the best thing for me to do was not give my mum I wash up after myself, and I pick my rubbish up, I put it in the bin. I don't like to be a burden on people. But my mum refuses help, so what can I do? So we chatted a little bit, but my mum was not very happy at all, and I think she needed a rest, so I left my mum to have a rest. She gave me lots and lots of things, as she usually does, bless her. She offered to cook me dinner. I said, no, Mum, I'll go home and I'll cook my dinner. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cook my dinner that I got from the co-op this morning, chicken tikka masala. I got a ready meal out of the shop this morning, which I'm going to cook in a moment. I have had no lunch. Alexa, what's the time?
The time is 3:44 p.m.
So I've had no lunch. Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Monday the 14th of November.
And Alexa, where are we? Alexa, where are we?
You're at 7 Coys Road, Flat 5, Bix Apartments in Rochester, Kent.
So Mum asked me to put the telly on. Do I want the telly? Put the telly on. And I put on a film, a Christmas film. It was a really nice modern film. My mum said to me, she said, as far as I know, I'm your mother, Jennifer. She said, your mother isn't a blonde woman. She said to me that my mum is not a blonde woman. My mum's got grey hair. I've got grey hair. I'm 50 plus. I don't know what she meant by that. You know, when people are blonde, you know, you think of a 20, 30-year-old woman, young woman. So I started to get depressed again. I don't like getting depressed and feeling bad about myself. So she said, my mum isn't a blonde woman. Then she said to me, would you like a bottle of perfume? She said it's empty, but it's a nice shape and you might be able to sell it on eBay as a collector's item. So she gave me Britney Spears Curious. After saying that my mum isn't a blonde woman, she gave me Britney Spears Curious, and it is a lovely bottle. And I listen to Britney Spears music, and Britney Spears is getting on now. Britney Spears is... Alexa, how old is Britney Spears?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Who are you asking about?
Alexa, how old is Britney Spears?
Britney Spears is 40 years old.
Britney Spears is 40. And she's got blonde hair. So my mum gave me that. So I'm going to do another video in a minute. I sat with my mum. I watched a Christmas film. She gave me an empty bottle of perfume. She did indeed wash my clothes for me because my washing machine is broken. And hopefully in the not too distant future I'll be able to buy a washing machine of my own. My mum also said that I've got to learn to live without her. I've got to learn to live without my mum. And then she said she could suddenly drop dead. And then I said to my mum, please don't talk like that. I suffer from anxiousness and anxiety, and you shouldn't speak like that. She said she could drop dead at any time. Her Jennifer could. And that made me feel terrible. And I wanted to go home. And I've come home early. Okay? I've come home early. I don't want to listen to things like that. I know she can't help it, but it makes me feel awful. Not only about myself, but about her as well. No one wants their mother to drop dead. So I'll tell you the rest in a moment.